Cyber attacks have unfortunately become part of our everyday world.
Still, many people don't take simple steps to protect their personal information and become victims of identity theft and credit card fraud.
But Scott Schober is here, and he is a world-renowned cybersecurity expert, and he has some lessons that we can learn because he might have learned them the wrong way. So what's the overall problem with cybersecurity?
Well, it's lack of sharing information, first of all. You hear attack after attack. There's one this morning, actually. We probably heard about 80 million cards compromised from Anthem, the healthcare provider, and we know Target and Home Depot, Sony, the list goes on and on. But even personally, we've all had breaches. We ourselves, our company had a breach, our checking account. A large sum of money was taken out of it, over $65,000. Our credit cards were compromised, our website, the list goes on and on. So there's many people that are targets, but most people don't share that information and talk about it. So we're always sharing best practices. What are some basic things that you and I and listeners can do to just protect themselves? And number one on the list is always passwords.
Okay.
And everybody says, oh, I have a strong password, but it's probably safe to say if you ask them, is your password 6 to 8 characters in length? And most people say, yeah. Is it something associated to maybe your name or something on a social media site or something that they could find out and hack? Most likely it's yes. Or if it's a common word in the dictionary, that's a no-no also.
Should you have different passwords for every site? Because that can become very confusing. Like, how do you organize it?
It's hard to organize. You make a good point. There are apps to do it. You have to be careful. You need to know one master password, and that would allow you access to all of your passwords and usernames.
That's kind of dangerous.
It is. If that gets compromised, you're in big trouble. And password reuse, which is what you're kind of talking about, is very dangerous. A lot of people have the same password
for
every site, banking, Facebook, this and that. So you want to avoid that and create passwords 15 characters or more.
15 characters.
Lowercase numbers.
I'll never remember any of these. That's what you have to do.
The difference is it takes a few years to hack that, whereas common passwords, 6 to 8 characters, about 3 to 4 seconds with software applications.
Well, at least we have a few years until they hack us.
That's right.
the good news. That is
safe.
the good news. All right.
So explain to us what a phishing attack means.
Sure. A phishing attack is a really dangerous.
Like that type of
just like it
phishing?
implies, exactly.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're luring you in. So it's usually an embedded file in an email. If you click on that,
like
it lures you to another website typically where now they can download malware. And the most dangerous type, what's just evolving now, a new variant, is called ransomware. And what's scary about that, it could be for your phone, the target, or your computer. This malicious code is downloaded there. It locks, encrypts all of your files, and you have to pay a ransom in bitcoins to get your files back or to use your phone.
That's
wow.
kind of scary. How about for Macs? Because I know a lot of Mac users say, we don't get viruses. Is that true?
They get less viruses. I use Mac. I'm an iPhone, an Apple person my whole life. They're still a target, especially as their market is growing. But it is safer than the PC, because a lot of the PC stuff, think about the old legacy software, people are still using XP or other things that are not supported with security patches, and that's where the target is. That's the vulnerability. So
Scott, I want to ask you what you brought here today.
Yeah, sure. I bought a free toys. This one here is one of our most popular ones, called a Pocket Hound. And it's a small covert cell phone detector. So as mobile phones are everywhere, there's certain areas that they're not allowed. In prisons, in churches, concert halls, government facilities. Schools, good point. And what this does is allow you to catch somebody that's using their phone. In a school's case, they use phones for catching cheating students. So
which
a
we've never
professor
done,
could do that.
They
put it in their pocket simply, and it'll vibrate when it gets close to the cell phone activity.
Wow, and then you are caught red-handed.
Yes.
That's kind of scary as a student.
Very scary.
I think
Be
I
careful.
Yeah, well, thankfully I somehow graduated and don't have to worry about that. And next up on the maybe on the school bus, for school bus drivers now, this is very cool because you're actually able to gauge if a driver is texting and driving, which is that's great.
Yeah, huge. And you think about any type of municipality that's got transportation where you've got a lot of people, trains especially, and there's an operator, and if they're texting while driving, this will catch them, start a camera, record it, and they'll be fired. So usually they're covert and hidden again, so they're not aware of what's going on. So don't text and drive.
And Scott, the name of your book?
Sure, it's called Hacked Again.
And where can we find this?
It's coming out in about 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
It's called Hacked Again.
And where can we find this?
It's coming out in about 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
It's at the website Hacked Again. You can kind of pre-order it, and it's going to be Amazon and everywhere else where you can buy it as well. So it talks about our story of being hacked and then best practices to prevent from getting hacked.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having me
Scott.
on.